warning.
This graphic novel contains scenes of murder and mayhem, and is not for the faint-hearted.
If you are upset by intense scenes of violence and viscera, needles and nastiness,
then consider steering clear of this story.
But if you're prepared to be scared and to delve into the depths of the horrors the human mind can produce,
then step right up and enjoy the perilous pages of Machines Made from Minds.
Chapter 2, Red Line. Peggy, you're walking on the loose gravel. Do you have a flashlight or any way to see very clearly in the dark? Because while you are a tiefling and can see moderately well in the dark, it is pitch black down here.
I feel like I would have a flashlight. Like, that seems like a very basic thing to bring along with one.
Okay. So
it's probably one of those little clip-ons, you know?
Yeah, I understand, like a little pen, like a pen flashlight.
Yeah. Like, not a big, chunky one.
I can see this. You were walking west on the red line and are making your way towards the area where on the map it was marked that there was a circle with a large X through it. This takes you the better part of an hour, as it is a few kilometers. The stations on this line are fairly well spaced out. There's only the 4 of them, and it's a very low density district, so they're fairly well spaced out. And walking, you notice that the rails underfoot, the ground underfoot, it is gravel, but it seems to be more hilly than it should be. There's little up and down gentle slopes every now and again, and you can see that this seems to have affected the actual rails themselves, which seem to be bent out of shape, which would presumably present a danger to any train cars running on this track. I think that you would give me a listen check.
Oh, listen check, sure. 16, that actually succeeds.
Okay, but just a regular success?
Yes, just
Okay.
regular. I don't have any bonuses,
Okay.
so the skill's 20. I got 16.
Wonderful. So you would hear, coming from behind you and in front of you, this creaking of metal and almost like the occasional sound of a rock falling onto gravel, as if one of the stones in the ceiling has given way and just fallen down. But more notably, you hear creaking of steel coming from in front of you and behind you. And eventually, I think you would see on the north side of the tunnel, a iridescent sheen in your flashlight next to a door, which seems to be like a small maintenance door, the first one that you've seen. And drawn on the wall, very large, probably 7 or so feet in diameter, is a large circle with an X through it, similar to the marking on the map.
Oh, it's literal.
Literal.
X marks the spot.
And there's a small door next to it, a metal door with a small golden doorknob, and a glass window to look in through it. It seems to be some sort of maintenance hallway.
May I peek through the door, please?
Absolutely. Inside, you see a dark hallway. Shining your light in, you can see that there are lights, overhead lights, fluorescent lights that just aren't turned on right now. It looks to be there's 2 doorways on either side of the hallway, one on the right, one on the left, and one that does not have a very large window at the very end of this narrow and long hallway. On either side of the hall, it's just open pipes. It seems to be just plumbing and steam works going through here. What would you like to do?
Is there any noise coming from the other side of the door?
Give me a listen check.
Okay. 25, that just misses.
Okay. You can't really hear through this. It's a thick metal door, so no. Beyond the creaking of metal you can hear out here, there doesn't seem to be anything else.
In that case, I would like to check out the circle with the X. Like, what's it drawn out of? Is there any signs anyone's been here recently?
It seems that it's drawn out of a clear iridescent liquid, and underneath is chalk. So it's almost like white with this iridescent shellac over it, I guess.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to be... It's not dry, but I don't think you would assume it to be dry. It seems to have dripped fairly decently down the entire wall, so it might have been older. And if you were to examine the place where it dripped at the side of the tunnel, you would see that there's little brown splotches on the ground.
Like
as well
the
as
footprints? That brown? Like
Similar.
the oil?
Similar. Less motor. They're like the one up there had this motor oil almost blackness to it. This one is definitely more rust colored, but it's like sludgy little marks, I guess.
Interesting.
But that's what you get examining this. Would you like to enter into the maintenance tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. The door is not locked, so it opens easily. The light switch is just there on your right if you'd like to turn on the lights.
Sure.
Okay. You do so. You hear the high-pitched whine as the lights turn on. They're a bit flickery and not the brightest things in the world, but it's a bit better for seeing everything than just your tiny flashlight. So there's a door on your right, a door on your left, and a door at the end of the tunnel. What would you like to go to first?
I'm sorry, I might have missed this. Do those doors have windows as well to look through?
The one on the end of the tunnel has a small window. The ones on the right and left do not.
I guess I'll just try the door closest to me first.
Okay. That would be the one on the right.
Okay.
So you walk a couple feet down this hallway, and the door on the right opens easily. You find yourself in a small, what seems to be, might have once been a maintenance room for just storing things. Things that would have had to be accessible for technicians, railway technicians. So there's still large tool racks, similar to like mechanic shops that you worked with in the past. But there also seems to be a lot of machining tools, like lathes, large drill presses, such things, and some welding equipment, I think, would be very obvious as well. And it just looks like a lot of steel work has been being done in here. Would you like to look around any further? There's some desks and filing cabinets in here as well.
Sure, I'll take a look. This is kind of, I know about this stuff, so I, feel good about it.
What skill do you want to roll here? Because I think no matter what, you'll be able to look around and find stuff, but I just want to know the context that you're going to be looking at it in.
Well, this is a maintenance room. I guess I'm sort of curious either what kind of maintenance is happening here. Like, are there people still working here even after the subway shut down?
Okay. What do you think? Would mechanical repair be satisfactory, do you think? Just to look
I can roll that.
Yeah? Would that be
Sure.
covering it, I think?
I guess.
Or do you think something else would be better, Sarah?
I can roll mech repair. I'm good at that. So like.
Okay.
Okay. 19. That is a middle success.
Okay.
It's
Is that below half?
below half, but not a fifth.
Okay. So it's a hard success.
Yes.
That's good. So looking around, you see that the tools for welding, I think, are fairly well stocked. Like, they seem to have been used quite extensively, but kept in good stock. There seems to be a lot of different little plans strewn in the filing cabinets if you were to take a look in them. The tools seem well maintained. They don't seem to be rusty. The subway's been closed for almost half a year at this point, this specific line. So
someone's been using them since it closed then.
it seems that someone's been using them. One of the plans, the one that's most prominently displayed, I think are the plans for it looks to be some modifications to an old model of train engine. Like one of the original ones that was made probably like 30 years ago or so, before like what are they called? Like the ARVs? 1 second. Let me check what they're called. The ARC engine trains that currently are used in the subway. So it would have been like an old coal-powered one. And it looks to be that they're changing it, that like they were working on it, doing some steel work and modifications to it to open up the front of it. And it almost looks like it makes a mouth, which does not make sense from anything because that would just catch air and put out any fire that was inside the engine. So that's not very sensible. That isn't in here, but the plans are in here. The other thing I think you notice, if you were to look through drawers and stuff, maybe looking for further evidence of anything going on in here, you should probably spend the better part of an hour, unless you would like to do otherwise.
I
just
can
looking
investigate.
around
No,
this
I
room.
can do that.
Yeah, because it's a very cluttered room. I think it takes a while to look around. Plus, there's some pretty neat equipment in here that you haven't really seen that much of.
Mm-hmm.
That might catch your interest a little bit and just looking at it. And it seems to be very high-end equipment too.
I'm gonna take like a wrench and I'm gonna switch out a wrench in my toolkit for one of the nicer wrenches.
Absolutely. They're very nice. Like looking at them, you probably think like, well, give me like a wrench brand name, a fun wrench brand.
Mechanitrix.
Mechanitrix.
I was
There's
hoping to
these-
say wrench at Ralph.
Oh my gosh. Mechanitrix. Okay, so yeah, there's these beautiful. It's like a couple of really vintage pieces. Like the machining pieces are very vintage and older, but the smaller the smaller tools, like there's these beautiful Mechanitrix wrenches. You've seen them go for probably like $300 for like a set of like 4 or 5 of them.
I'm
and
absolutely
you're-
taking that
you just
wrench.
you can't pass up on the opportunity, you know? So yeah, you can grab a couple of the wrenches. And then as you continue looking around, you probably open a drawer and see a small wooden case that has like some silver inlay of like little flowers and spirals, as well as another folded up set of blueprints that if you would like to open the box or unfold the blueprints seem to be for a little metal coffin looking thing.
Oh.
Oh boy.
And as well, there seems to be another set of blueprints kind of stapled to that seem to be for. Give me a medicine check,
Ooh, okay.
because I don't
I'm
think
almost
mechanical
definitely
would
gonna fail
really
that
be
because
satisfactory.
That's a 1% skill.
Yes.
Yeah, 23. That is easily a fail.
Okay. There's another set of blueprints for something you don't really recognize. There's like some needles on that page, but the actual thing that's like the primary focus of the blueprint does not make sense to you what it is. And that's the blueprints. So there's this little coffin and then like something to do with needles. And then in the small box, you open it and there is just a handgun in there.
Oh.
Okay.
And I need you to roll a d8 to see how many bullets there are.
Bullet.
Absolutely. 4.
Okay, so there's 4 small bullets in there as well.
That's sketchy. I'm gonna take it.
Okay. So while you do this, Connie, Arthur, and Darcy,
Cad.
you 3 are making your way along a very similar path. You know that Peggy likely came down here. Her hair was on like the entrance. You might be able to see small footsteps in the gravel. I think you hear very easily the same loud metal sounds. I need you all to make listen checks for me as well on top of that, though.
Listen. Hark.
I love that song.
Listen.
Aw, man. That's just a fail.
No luck. Okay.
Boo. The coffee's getting to me.
I got a hard success.
I got a regular success.
Okay. Connie, on top of the very loud metal sounds, increasingly loud as you make your way west along the tunnel, I think that you also hear a very short laughter off in the distance.
Is it like
Like just a really brief chuckle.
okay, but does it sound like it came from a small person or like a maniacal laugh of a big
It's not like a
creature?
maniacal laugh. It's like something kind of funny happened and someone goes, and that's
Okay.
it. And it just echoes down the tunnel.
Someone's here that is chuckling. I can't seem to place it though.
You sure it might not be whatever weeds might be down here in the subway, or
Am I able to recognize if I can I distinguish between people and plants? Because I almost feel like
Yes.
plants would have
Yes,
a
you can.
gentler sound to them.
It's
so
it's like when you hear
Hee hee.
people
Hee
when you
hee.
hear people speak, it's almost like you're physically hearing it.
Mhm.
But when plants speak, it's almost like they're connecting with you on a more intimate level,
Yeah.
almost. So this definitely feels like a person.
Oh no, this is definitely not the weeds. I can hear it, not just hear it with my soul.
okay.
If that makes any sense.
So maybe we should keep our guard up while we head down here. Maybe it was Peggy. I don't believe she's one to laugh, but maybe something
Well-
down here was amusing.
I love
I
the
don't
idea
know.
of Peggy just laughing by herself.
I mean, the last time I saw Peggy, I was coming up the road, and then they said that they were gonna head on home. Like they didn't want to do this job anymore because they weren't gonna get paid.
If
So
there's one thing I know, no one can resist a good adventure.
right, okay. Let's keep going then.
Okay. As you walk, what's your three's luck?
Oh,
My luck is
like our total?
Yeah.
60.
I guess
75.
I want to know everyone's luck right now just so I can write it
Okay.
down.
70.
And yours is 70, Connie.
No, 75.
You're so
Oh,
lucky.
75. Lucky duck.
I'm so lucky.
What's yours, Arthur?
40.
Excellent.
Oh.
Arthur, can you make a luck check for
Why
me?
do y'all have such good luck and I have awful luck? So let's see. What do we need to roll for luck?
You just need to roll. It's the regular thing.
Oh, just the regular. Okay.
Yep.
Guess I'll die.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a 70.
Oh,
shit.
excellent.
Time for me to be unlucky.
Arthur, you're walking like behind Connie and Darcy, and you might take a step out onto the tracks themselves just for a second to like try to listen for this giggling that Connie just pointed out to you. And as you do so, your left foot just sinks probably 4 or 5 inches into the ground.
Oh.
Well, when you look down, do you have a flashlight on? I assume you also have a flashlight of some sort because there was the flashlight that was in the bag.
I
as
didn't
well
specifically
as-
take that flashlight at all, so I don't think I have it on me.
Okay. Someone else could be using it, or someone else could be using or illuminating the way in some way, but you don't have a flashlight, unfortunately. And you step down into this, it's almost like mucky, and you feel it. It's very cold around your foot. It probably comes up around over your. Actually, your foot would go in deep enough that it would come up over your steel-toed boots,
Oh.
and you can feel it getting into your shoe.
Oh.
And if you were to pull it out and start wiping it off, probably it feels very sticky, and it's like this reddish brown mush almost.
Ew.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. It looks similar to like you've worked in garages before, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
It looks almost like you've probably been on sweeping duty and seen where bugs have just been crushed by pieces of metal and they just turn into little pieces of what looks like slime. And it almost looks like
Ew.
a big puddle of that in here that you just stepped in.
Gross.
Ugh.
Okay, well, I don't think it's worth walking around with a boot that's full of this gunk. So I'm just gonna leave my boot.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh.
Excellent.
Oh.
Arthur has
It's never good when it gets into your boot.
What foot is it?
Left. You said it was left.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. So this
There's a
occurs.
snake in my boot.
Do you, Connie or Darcy, react to this in any way?
I think Darcy would hear like the and she'd turn like she has like her little kit, so she like kind of like turns and she kind of puts the flashlight down to what he's going ew at.
Mm-hmm. It's like this drippy, slimy, red-brown mess.
She goes over, she takes out a vial, and she collects a sample.
Oh
Well,
my
no.
gosh.
She checks it between her.
Absolutely.
Really?
You
Are you
can
even gonna
collect
collect
another
this
sample.
gross
She checks
junk?
it between her finger and her thumb.
It's similar to the stuff. It's similar to the stuff from upstairs or up on out back from the Happy
And
Petals.
She's gonna look
Community
up
florist.
to Arthur, and she says, "You might think it's gross, but this could very well be hard-hitting evidence."
I really
mean,
hope
I mean,
it's
it
own
could-
hand
it could-
sanitizer.
It can be evidence, but it can also still be gross.
She holds out a handkerchief.
You're not the one who stepped in it.
Yeah, hold up a handkerchief, Arthur. You
I'm
can
gonna wipe down my foot and sock.
absolutely, and you can continue on the way. Arthur, the gravel probably sticks to the bottom of your foot a little bit.
Ow. Ow.
And eventually you'll arrive at a large circle with an X through it marked on the side of the tunnel, the north side of the tunnel. There's a maintenance door that is open. The lights are on inside, and you can hear someone fumbling around coming from within. This seems to be the place marked on the map.
I think someone's in there.
Well, what are we doing still outside? Don't we want to know who's in there?
I'm going to Darcy doesn't really have weapons of any kind. But I think what she has with her is a baton that you can swing and
Yes.
it extends. And I think she's getting ready
Yep.
to to swing that
Absolutely.
out, and she's going to go into the space.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull out my wrench.
Okay. And Peggy, did you take the gun, Peggy?
I took the gun.
Okay. So you hear
Uh-oh.
the sounds of footsteps from behind you. And so you literally have just pulled this gun out from the drawer and are like taking it out of the box and putting it into your waistband or something. And you hear footsteps approaching from behind you.
I think my immediate instinct would be to hide, probably like behind the desk or
Okay.
something.
Make a stealth roll then.
Can absolutely make a stealth roll. 32, that is a regular success.
Okay. There's a large tarp that you can like pull up and get under, enough that you can like still see out. Like you can hide behind the stuff that's under there, some large crates of sheet metal. Is enough that you're hidden away, but you can still see anyone walking into the room, I think. And so you see the three other investigators, Connie, Arthur, and Darcy, enter into the room. Darcy and Arthur wielding a extendable baton and a wrench each. The three investigators, you see a large room. There seems to be mechanical tools strewn about. All of this same scenario I described before. You do not, however, see any trace of Peggy. You do see like an empty box open on a desk.
I think when I see it's them, though, I would step out and I'd be like, oh, it's just
Okay.
you guys. Oh, thank God. I thought it was the cops or something.
Does she still have the gun out, or did she put that away?
I probably would.
assume she-
I'm not like holding it, pointing it around.
Oh, it's just
I
you
assume she
folks.
put it away,
Loads
yeah.
gun.
It's nice to see you, but that prize money is
no.
mine. No.
I'm gonna
Bang,
I'm
bang.
gonna turn when I hear her, and I'm gonna like wiggle my eyebrows and kind of like walk over to her and say, and I'm gonna say, "Ready to join the adventure squad?
Oh
Please
my
don't
gosh,
tell us
that's
We
adorable.
could use an extra hand."
All right. Well, the whole I'm not involved thing obviously isn't going to work more than once. All right. Closer we get to solving this together, the more likely it is that maybe someone will give us some kind of reward. Let's do it.
I'm gonna turn around like with a jump, and I'm gonna yell, "Okay, go team!" And I'm gonna turn back to her and say, "Okay, so what did you find?"
You yell that? You yell that out
No,
loud?
no. Like,
You yell that?
no.
You yell? You make a loud noise?
You yell?
like I'm talking like regular voice with her,
Yeah.
and I turn. It's not a yell. It's more. That was the wrong word. I guess an exclaim, like "Go team!"
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Carry
you say
on.
so.
What do y'all want to do?
I found some blueprints, and I'm going to kind of show them to the group. Some kind of an old train car. Not really sure what this guy is. And this
Ooh.
coffin-looking thing. Something with needles. I found a gun here. So there was some creaking noises you probably heard around back. Probably the reason they closed this place. What about you guys?
Arthur stepped in something. I show the vial.
Yeah.
And
Gross.
there may be someone else down here. There was laughing. Did you happen to be laughing?
I'm not very amused. I'm gonna have to say no on that one.
Peggy showed the blueprint.
Correct.
Do I recognize the needle machine?
You make
thing?
medicine checks.
Good thing I have something for that. I just met it. 20. Success.
It looks to be a metal kind of needle port, if you know what that is, like the kind that gets put into your arm when you're at the hospital for an extended
Oh, an
period
IV,
of time.
you mean?
Is that what it is? An IV?
Yeah.
Is that like the little tube that you have sticking
Yeah,
to your
it's
arm
like
or
the
something?
tube.
Oh, then that's an
Yes.
IV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an IV.
An IV then, sorry. Okay. Yes. It's like a metal kind of IV.
Well, that's odd. It looks like that's going to hurt.
Do you want to continue exploring this little maintenance hallway? There's still two other doors. One on the left side of the hall and one at the end of the hall that has a window in it.
I want to go to the door with the window in it.
Excellent idea, Arthur. Walk to the end of this narrow hall. The lights flicker overhead, turning off for maybe even a full second at one point before coming back. And you look through this very small window at the end of the hallway. This door seems very thick, specifically almost like it's reinforced. Inside, you see 6 or 7 of these metal coffin-looking things that the blueprints depicted.
Uh-oh.
There seems to be large tubes, almost hydraulic tubes, with needles on the end hanging from the ceiling. And there's a large desk in the center of the room that has what looks like a recording apparatus on it. Like something like you see a wax cylinder placed in there. I also think looking around, you see multiple smashed wax cylinders on the ground.
I don't think this should belong in a maintenance room.
No.
Can we open the
Is
door?
there like a machine to put the cylinders in?
Yeah, yes, there is.
Okay. Sorry, and is it already does it already have one in it, or are they?
It looks like the cylinder's in one that you could speak into, but there's also one to like play back, like a gramophone of sorts on the other
Okay.
side. They look to be built into the desk.
Can open door?
You turn the doorknob, and the door, with a lot of force it takes, you can open the door, and you feel this uncomfortably warm air come out. The
I don't
smell
like
is
this room.
very ammonia-y,
Ew.
similar to the smell of that clear liquid that was in the backpack. Do you want to go in?
Reluctantly, I guess.
Okay. Is everyone going to come in here?
Sure.
We're
Connie,
gonna die.
do you want to come in?
Yes.
Okay, you all enter into this room. It's uncomfortably warm in here. It smells horrific. The lights flicker back in the hallway a bit more. Do you want... There's small windows on the coffins themselves. And I do think describing them as coffins is an excellent way. They're these just square or rectangular steel boxes. Average sized, not too large and not too small. I don't think, Connie, you would fit in them, but the rest of you would fit in really easily. Did any of you want to like look into one of those windows?
Yes.
You
So
see...
I don't want to use meta knowledge. So I know the purpose of the 3 individual plants in medicine and stuff as Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I'm guessing I have to do a roll to.
Well, you already got the occult roll.
Yeah.
You know that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Darcy
Okay,
knows.
so, yeah, looking into one of the coffins, like, is there anything, like, connecting anything else, would you say, like, to the coffins, like...
Looking into the coffins, I need anyone who will look in to make a sanity check.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
How does that one work again?
You roll D100. If you're under your sanity, you do better.
We're good.
If you get a success,
21.
you do
My
better.
score is 8.
Oh, hell yeah, I did good.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still good. I got 31 and my sanity's 50.
I got a 38, my
Okay.
sanity is 70.
I got a 2, and my sanity is 4.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
excellent. All of you only lose 2 sanity then.
Oh!
As you look in and see these rotted people, like their faces
Oh!
black and rotting, this clear, almost whitish liquid leaking out of every orifice, and you can just see hundreds of needles that line these steel coffins, stabbing into them, and every single point where it touches their skin and is just like poking through them, it seems like this liquid is leaking out.
I'm
shit.
going to quickly turn to the group, and I'm going to say, I think I know what's happening.
Oh, really? You have an
What do
explanation
you
have an explanation
What the
for
fuck can you take
Okay,
from something
the
like that?
numerous
So-
bodies in these weird...
I'm going to put my hand on...
Please
Arthur's-
explain. I'd love to hear
And
this.
while you start to explain it, Darcy, you, standing in the middle of the room, turning to all of your associates to explain what's going on here, feel multiple needles stab you in the shoulders as these tubes above you start stabbing into you and trying to pull you upwards. Please take 4 damage as they do this. And that's where this chapter ends.
shit.
Oh, shit!
Thank you everyone for listening today. I hope you tune in tomorrow to hear the next chapter. Good night.